The pursuit of Dharma is a serious endeavor. There are three definite stages I've noticed reflected in the structure of practice. It all makes sense once you've made some progress. Let's talk about it. This is the straightening out that needs to occur, a fundamental change in behavior. Instead of pursuing numerous desires, you pursue a mind that doesn't want or need anything. It's an economy of movement. Reduce noise, reduce desire for things, reduce emotional turmoil. Begin a practice regimen. Use it to secure the changes you've gone through, and don't make things too austere. If you try to be too strict, you will rebel. It has to be something you can maintain for a long time. If you're too strong in your endeavor, your body will reject it. You have to go easy. It has to be right for you. Any structure imposed from outside will seem artificial. It will take adjusting to. Maintain. Once you've found your beat, endure for a long time, for years. This you don't want to do alone. You need to find a community of practitioners. You can live in your own space if you prefer. Certainly the hardest part of living in a community is the lack of privacy. You could be in a small room with several others for months, if not years at a time. But you learn faster that way. The fastest way is to do long retreats. The long retreat has magical qualities as far as transmuting or transmogrifying the self. It's like your nodes that you've collected all during your life. When they're not constantly being tended, they get reconfigured or put into different areas, worn down, burned out. The whole thing begins to operate more cleanly, less angular. You can see this very clearly in younger students, their angular nature. The older student is more peaceful in the flow of life. That's what we're doing, this process of long practice, improving our life and our world. Once you've inculcated these abilities and, in a sense, created new land, eventually you'll want to occupy it. That's human. Why not? It's wonderful. Clean air, clean water. Why stay in the broken space that you've mangled together from the poor example of your childhood peers who weren't qualified to guide you? You remake the space, make it clean and correct, and occupy it. That's the idea. Transmutation. This is the phase where it becomes a viable option. It depends on having made the space large and solid enough that it can be occupied. That's why we say practice is arduous. It isn't really, but it's not something that can be realized in one go. It has to be built from the ground up and built right. It's interesting watching this develop in the West. What new ground will be determined by the next generation. This influx of wisdom from the East, it's the next logical step for Western philosophy. We understand that we are broken. We understand our existential nature. Now let's remedy it. Introduce a practice regimen. Rather than decrying the terrible structure we've created for ourselves, let's make it correct and live in that new space.